We welcome Roxanne Beckford-Ho. Roxanne, you have up to 4 minutes.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. I appreciate it. First off, I just want to give kudos to Sandra for the Best Bookshelf Award that I have seen in this 6 months of lockdown. Kudos to you, Sandra. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And thank you again to my fellow speakers. Damien, you get extra points for bringing up Maslow's hierarchy of needs as a psych major from Davidson's College. I always love to hear about Maslow. Thomas and Meg, I think you made a great point about inequalities being defined by outcomes, and I'll address that. I too am a word nerd, and so the word racism, the definition is a belief that race is the primary determinant of human traits and capabilities, and that racial differences produce an inherent superiority of a particular race. And I would say that along with Joel and Shelley, who I want to thank for being brave enough to take what would seem to be a really, who's going to be for racism? Nobody. But we have to look very closely at the resolution. And the fact is, America did already once embrace radical systemic change to fight not just racism, but the truth that for most of human history, life was nasty, brutish, short, and you were a subject unless you were royalty. And so as an immigrant to this country from a majority Black slaveholding nation of Jamaica, I was born a subject and I will die an American citizen. And that perspective, I think, gives me a sort of a unique look in how I speak about this, because I can tell you that police the world over, because they have the power of the state, are scary to everyone they pull over. In other countries, even more than in America, where there are no protections and they can demand money or bribes or whatever. And you can see that in my country with my own family, many of whom are, we have millions of shades in Jamaica. My dad was pulled over by a cop for eating ice cream, and believe me, he was towing the line, because you don't push back. It's just a bad idea. I would say that what I say to my own children is that sometimes people look at you funny or treat you badly because they're constipated. Sometimes people are having a bad day. Sometimes people treat you badly because of you. Even Black people don't have 100% approval ratings in their own families, their own workplaces, or their own homes. I have 4 children and a husband, and if I ever get to 50% approval in this house, it'll be like an amazing day for me. The fact is, America, and I said, Shelley, this is a great point. We have de jure, meaning under the law, there is no racism. I would amend that. We have embraced racism by the absolute disaster of creating a category of hate crimes, because then that requires us and requires jurisprudence and juries and people to look at each other and go, what's in your heart? You don't know what is in someone's heart ever. Murder is murder, no matter who you do it to, and if it's interracial or intraracial. Let's just stipulate, though, for a minute, that every white person is a virulent racist who wants to stop every Black person from succeeding. And I know everyone Caucasian on this call and in the United States goes, well, yeah, there's a lot of racists, but not me. So think about that.
Wrap it up, Roxanne. Go ahead, you have 30 seconds.
Okay. How does it affect your life? How does it stop you from cracking open a book and studying hard and getting married before you have children and marrying the father of your children and taking care of your children and doing the right thing? It doesn't. The fact is that there's nowhere else I'd rather be than America, and your history, whatever it is, I'm a descendant of slaves and slave owners, but your history as a descendant of slaves makes you one strong survivor, not a victim and not oppressed. I'll repeat actually something that I knew, but I learned again. people are essentially good. And honestly, your race is the least interesting thing about each of you. Everyone who spoke, I want to have a conversation about something. The dog behind you, your service, your multiple languages, whatever it, who's in Japan. Race is boring after a while. And if we would all just remember that we have the whole world in front of us because of the opportunity we have to be in America. Barack Obama said something great at the beginning of this whole, latest conflagration. You have to pay attention to local elections because the people in charge in each of the cities that we think are terrible, who is president is kind of irrelevant. Your local alderman and your city council member and those are the people who are running the police departments that are doing the things that nobody wants to have happen. So thank you, everybody.